Sawasdee krab, good morning, and thank you for joining us on Newsline, broadcasting live on NBT Radio Thailand, FM 88, and NBT World. Today is Sunday, March 13th, and my name is Suraphal Lautaranarit. Welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. In our first story, since 2015, the government and the National Council for Peace and Order, or NCPO, have been able to reclaim 300,000 rai of land encroached upon by capitalists, influential figures, and members of the public. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha said responsible agencies had been enforcing strict laws and cracking down on all intruders encroaching upon unauthorized land, especially forest areas. More than 300,000 rai of forests have been retrieved, while as many as 13,000 perpetrators are being prosecuted. As for the locals affected by the government's land reclamation policy, the government has allocated more than 340,000 rai of land to the public in 47 provinces nationwide, allowing the locals, especially the poor, to generate income for themselves. The Prime Minister then called on everyone to conserve forest resources, the effort of which must be done through cooperation between the administration, the military, the police, the public, and the private sector. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha announced that the government had launched a mobile application to improve the English skills of Thai people. General Prayut said thanks to cooperation between the Ministry of Education, the Foundation of Virtuous Youth, and In Concept English School, the government was able to develop an application for those wanting to learn English. He said this is the first time that Thai people will be able to develop listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills on their mobile devices. The application consists of 200 chapters with simulations of every situation. The name of the application is Echo English, which is currently available on Android devices. The iOS version is expected to be available at the end of this month. The National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, endorsed the draft act on the improvement of ministries and state agencies, passing it into law with a unanimous decision. The NLA sitting voted 162-1 with 4 abstentions to pass a bill on the improvement of ministries, departments, and state offices into law. The meeting was chaired by NLA Second Vice President Pirasak Phojit. The passing of this bill followed the NLA's decision to revise the administration's Anti-Corruption Measures Act 2008. The revision allows the National Anti-Corruption Commission, or NACC, to work independently without having to report to the Office of the Prime Minister. Under the revised act, the NACC, as well as its Secretary General, will be supervised directly by the Prime Minister. The Constitution Drafting Commission, or CDC, is expected to discuss the composition of the Senate next week. According to CDC Chairman Michai Rishupan, the drafting team will review the provision concerning the origin of the Senate next week. The CDC will also deliberate a request raised by Deputy Prime Minister General Prawit Wongsuwan, who proposed that all members of the upper house be appointed during the country's political transition. When discussing the issue, he said all drafters would put the people and the country's best interests first. In the meantime, General Prawit said his request, if heeded, would pave the way for a complete reform of the country during the next 5 years, while expressing his belief that the CDC would review the request with the utmost caution. International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, or IFRC, Secretary General Elaj Asai, participated in an international conference in Bangkok on the implementation of health aspects of the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015 to 2030. The IFRC Secretary General has pointed out the growing number of public health emergency and disaster risk management programs and said the role of the IFRC on the Sendai framework is to cooperate with national societies and other stakeholders to promote substantial reduction of disaster risks and losses of lives, as well as livelihood and health for the next 15 years. One of the initiatives is called the 1 Billion Coalition for Resilience.
Our initiative on 1 Billion Coalition for Resilience, which is about contributing from the different parts of the work that they angle to building the capacity of the communities, but having a common platform for sharing and learning from each other. And that's what the 1 Billion Coalition is about. And the Red Cross Red Crescent movement is very pleased to be a convener as well as an active implementer of such an initiative.
The IFRC is convening the 1 Billion Coalition for Resilience to reduce the impact of disasters on more than 100 million people, which have destroyed lives and livelihood and cost some $140 billion in losses yearly. Evidence has shown that investing in disaster risk reduction and preparedness can save lives and money. By 2025, at least 1 billion people around the world will have taken active steps to strengthen their resilience. The Office of the Permanent Secretary for the Prime Minister's Office plans to organize the 2016 Civil Servants' Day next week. According to Prime Minister's Office Permanent Secretary Ek Angsananon, the planned celebrations for the Civil Servants' Day 2016 are meant to pay respect to the late King Rama VII, who set foundations for civil servants. The first day of the celebration will feature music in the park at the Public Relations Department's Conference Hall on March 17th at 4 p.m. under the theme of Civil Servants' Day. On March 27th, the Thai National Symphony Orchestra will perform at the National Theatre. On March 31st, the celebrations for the Civil Servants' Day will be held at Prince Palace Hotel. On April 1st, charity and almsgiving events will be held at Government House. And lastly, from April 1st to the 3rd, an exhibition will be held to depict a history of civil servants, coupled with a seminar, OTOP trade fair, and various services provided by all ministries at Spell Future Park Rangsit Shopping Mall. In addition, the Permanent Secretary suggested all civil servants to tend to activities such as cleaning up their premises, religious sites, and public places. Director General of the Government Public Relations Department, or PRD, Aphinan Jantarangsi, has called a second Public Relations Working Group meeting to discuss a media plan for the Second World Irrigation Forum and the 67th International Executive Council meeting. The meeting was aimed at monitoring the public relations action plan for different media outlets in preparation for the Second World Irrigation Forum and the 67th International Executive Council meeting, which will be organized in November this year. Meanwhile, the working group discussed making a media production on the topic of water management in a changing world, rural irrigation for sustainable food production, which will be publicized all around the globe. The Director General proposed having the working group focus on how His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej's royally initiated projects can be applied with water management. He added that the Prime Minister, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, had stressed the need to solve all water problems, which have been widespread in all areas and led to a global crisis. The Second World Irrigation Forum and the 67th International Executive Council meeting will take place between the 6th and the 12th of November at the International Convention and Exhibition Center, commemorating His Majesty's 7th cycle birthday anniversary in Chiang Mai Province. While millions of Thai people avoid eating meat every year during Thailand's vegetarian festival, there are those who stick to a plant-based diet every day of the year. And more people are trying vegetarianism for health or ethical reasons all the time. More vegetarian restaurants are opening in Thailand, and NBT World reporter Joel Gershon spoke with a few people in the Bangkok vegetarian community. Let's have a look.
What do Albert Einstein, actress Natalie Portman, former U.S. President Bill Clinton, talk show host Ellen DeGeneres, and Mahatma Gandhi all have in common? All were or are vegetarian. Thailand has its own vegetarian tradition, as there is an annual vegetarian festival, and there have been J restaurants around for many years, where dishes are served without any meat. For the past 25 years, the Bangkok International Vegetarian Alliance, or BIVA for short, have been holding community meetings to discuss relevant issues and to eat a meal together.
I started BIVA, Bangkok International Vegan Alliance, 25 years ago to educate, to provide information on veganism. Thailand is a food paradise. It's a land of fruits and vegetables. So there should be no excuse that it's so difficult to be a vegan, to be a vegetarian.
At a recent event, the main activity was the showing of the film Cowspiracy, a documentary which highlights the impacts of animal agriculture and overconsumption on climate change. One of the participants, Kun Kalyani Yimsuri, said her life changed from becoming vegan, meaning strictly vegetarian without eggs or dairy or any animal products.
After turning vegan, I find myself change, energy change, look change, health change. So please turn vegan as soon as possible. Decide today.
Kun Kalyani previously opened 2 vegan bakeries and just opened a new vegan restaurant with her daughter called Veganery Concepts, located behind Benjiseri Park at Prompong in Bangkok.
It's not just a restaurant. It's like the lifestyle place that everyone comes here and have like good food, good environment, and good energy.
Recently, another vegan restaurant opened in Bangkok, Broccoli Revolution, with the hope of appealing to diners who prefer a more contemporary cuisine and decor. It's located on Sukhumvit, Soi 49, and the owners were excited about offering a more refined vegetarian restaurant experience.
Broccoli Revolution is a vegetarian/vegan restaurant with also a juice bar. And we want to give people the option of eating more organic, eating more healthier.
I think vegetables can change your life, and it changed my life. So I think it's only do you good. Yeah, just give us a chance to try.
For those who are interested in the benefits of vegetarianism and want to learn more, and you live in the Bangkok area, you can attend one of BIVA's regular meetings that they hold each month. For NBT World, this is Joel Gershon.
Today, the old town of Phuket has become a venue for arts and culture, attracting a large number of tourists. The first hotel in Phuket is also located in this area. Here's a report from Kunasma Tin Kok Keo.
There are many historic buildings in Phuket downtown, and this is the oldest hotel in Phuket that has been beautifully renovated, preserving its century-old Sino-Portuguese architecture. Let's enjoy the atmosphere of this classic Phuket-style hotel, a landmark here for many years. In the past, Phuket was a renowned trading center and tin mining industry. The On Hotel, the first in Phuket, was opened in 1929. This hotel was regularly visited by Chinese business persons from Penang and European travelers. The name of the hotel, On, comes from the Chinese word An, which means the happiness of the visitor. In 2012, the Treasury Village Group renovated and improved the old hotel to make it a precious historic hotel of Phuket province. Under a new name, the memory at On Hotel.
ค่ะที่เรายังคงความคลาสสิกเอาไว้นะคะ
We keep it a classic place since we realize the cultural value which it manifests in the form of art and architecture. We keep it to future generations to admire and preserve. Good cultures never fade away from our world. It remains where it was because everyone helps preserve it.
The hotel management preserved the identity and charm of the building in ancient Sino-Portuguese architecture, completed with classic decorations and modern facilities. Hotel guests can feel the atmosphere of the old town of Phuket. In addition, the hotel has a restaurant which serves a variety of local food in a contemporary Peranakan ambience under the name the Baba Urban Heritage Cuisine. Normally, the restaurant serves the Peranakan style and may offer a special, delicious vegetarian menu during vegetarian festival. The hotel is in the heart of the old town and is connected to 4 major historic roads, namely Phang Nga Road, Krabi Road, Dibuk Road, and Talang Road. Visitors can feel the cultural differences, taste a variety of food, and learn about the traditions and religions of Phuket province by taking a leisurely walk along the cultural landmark roads. I am Asma Tinkaw, reporting from Phuket for NBT World.
Well, that's the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. We'll take a quick break now, but before that, let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
ASEAN Community. ASEAN member countries have agreed that the main part of the ASEAN community is its people. People are therefore to be the central focus. ASEAN Political and Security Community. In terms of politics and security, ASEAN promotes democracy, the principle of law, and good governance that protects fundamental human rights and freedoms accordingly. In terms of the economy, ASEAN gives priority to every section in society. For example, it promotes small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and supports more public-private partnerships. A study of the social effects of the expansion of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. 3 issues are: 1. Problem of laborers' migration. 2. Problem of ensuring security against new forms of crime. And 3. Problem of providing social welfare wherever needed. One vision, one identity, one community.
Pad Thai. Created from Thai wisdom, used to be served on banana leaf, and the banana tree is used for practicing Muay Thai. Muay Thai was trained in the temples, which can be found on the mountains, in the caves, or on the water, everywhere, just like Pad Thai. There are thousands of other stories to discover. Discover your amazing stories in amazing Thailand.
Welcome back to Newsline. The Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau, or TCEB, on Friday, March 11th, unveiled its 5 extended educational projects for the meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, or MICE industry, and launched the 2nd MICE Academy and Career Day. Newsline correspondent Kun Naakrot Janasuwan has more.
As the government is placing an emphasis on increasing the number of vocational workers, TCEP responds with its policies to generate 20,000 graduates from MICE industry within the next 5 years and establish Thailand as an ASEAN MICE education hub. TCEP President Noparat Methawi Kunchai stated that the 5 education projects focus on improving MICE curricula to meet international standards and enhancing the capabilities of instructor on MICE in theory and in practice through a program called Coach the Coaches. He added that the projects are aimed to establish a MICE Academy cluster and hold regular MICE Academy and career days. TCEP Chairman Virasak Kosurat explained that the Bureau would focus on the supply side of business regarding its plan to push Thailand as an ASEAN MICE education hub. He explained that Thailand has a relatively strong private sector in terms of marketing. He also projected a bright future for the MICE industry this year.
When the economy is good, everybody wants to come together and talk about how can they sustain the increase of the performance. When the difficult time comes, people still want to come to seminar and meeting to discuss about what shall we do next.
Director of the MICE Capabilities Development Department, Nishapa Yosovi, highlighted her agency's key policy this year, which is to devise a national strategic plan on how to develop the MICE industry in order to increase Thailand's competitiveness on the global stage. She also stressed the importance of the vocational workforce in generating sustainable revenue for Thailand.
In order to make a sustainable development and sustainable growth of any business, we need to have those talents who understand what are the real needs of the customers and what are the real needs of the corporation in order to grow. And that means that all talents will have to understand the business. And in order to do so, vocational school or vocational students are one of the key players in applying or answering this question.
TCEP estimated that each institute participating in its extended education program is capable of producing 50 to 60 graduates per year for an annual total of 4,000. In the next 5 years, some 20,000 students will graduate with a background in MICE to become professionals and enter the industry. This has been Naak Rojanasuwan for Newsline.
Moving on to the global news. The Navy and Marine Corps of the United States and South Korea conducted a large-scale amphibious landing drill on Saturday amid heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula. The two countries staged the amphibious landing drill called Sangyong on the coast of the port city of Pohang, about 360 kilometers south of Seoul. Sangyong is a biennial joint amphibious exercise conducted by the Navy and Marine Corps of the U.S. and South Korea, the U.S. Navy said. The drill began on Tuesday and will last until March 18th. Sangyong coincides with, but is not part of the annual joint U.S.-South Korean drills known as Fall Eagle, which are also currently taking place in the region and which involve about 17,000 American troops and more than 300,000 South Koreans. This year, the Australian Army and Royal New Zealand Army forces also engaged in the exercise for the first time to strengthen interoperability and working relationships in military operations, according to the U.S. Navy. A baby kangaroo rescued in remote Western Australia and adopted by a police officer has charmed followers of the police station's Facebook page after a video emerged of the joey clinging to its new parents. Footage filmed on Thursday of the kangaroo jumping into the policeman's shirt and later hopping after him at Kew Police Station was widely shared on social media. The video has already been watched more than 1 million times on the Western Australia Police Facebook page. The joey's name was chosen after Western Australia Police posted a photo on Wednesday of the policeman holding the kangaroo, asking the public for their input. And that's the end of today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook or visit our website at thainews.prd.go.th/en. And for now, we're going to say goodbye with the National Elephant Day celebration in Ayutthaya Province. I'm Surabhat Lau Tharanarit. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day. สวัสดีครับ